Sorry, it's a brand new system here that we have to push buttons that we haven't had to do before. So we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance, and also we're going to have a moment of silence for the people that are serving overseas, plus with the tragedy that's happening as we talk out in California. So please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. First thing we have to do is read this. Whitehall Township has an obligation to affirmatively further fair housing and to review all land use applications in accordance with federal civil rights statutes. This includes taking meaningful actions that overcome patterns of segregation and foster inclusive communities free from barriers that restrict access to opportunity based on protected characteristics. The township in its land use decisions does not discriminate against persons based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, disability, or familial status, and reviews all land use applications in accordance with federal civil rights statutes. Public comment made on these bases of bias and stereotype concerning people within these protected classes will not be taken into consideration by the township in its deliberations. Now, we have a lot of people who signed up for courtesy of the floor, and that's great. What we don't want to have, though, are people going ahead and repeating the exact same thing over and over again. So if you hear that what you wanted to talk about, you can come up and say, hey, that's what I wanted to talk about, but we are limiting everybody to 3 minutes. So that's the normal process. This isn't something brand new. This is what we do. So, first thing we're going to do is approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion of the minutes for December 9th?
I'll make a motion, Scarfaro.
Do I have a second?
I will, Fox.
Okay. Any questions, comments, changes? Mr. Secretary, please poll the board. Scarfaro? Oh, I'm sorry. I said I'm not a good fucking pusher.
Commissioner Scarfaro,
Yes.
Commissioner Fox,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelagian,
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Aye.
Commissioner Attia is a yes, and President Sloniker.
Aye. Next order of business, we're lucky to have the Lehigh County Executive, Mr. Phillips Armstrong, an old member of the board here, so he wants to give us, no, thank you. Wants to give us a presentation, so.
Thanks for the word old there.
Well, hey,
You know, it's a,
you're looking as old as me.
it's a, well, it's a, you know, thank you very much. This is kind of my farewell tour. It's my last year in term of office, and I said when I began I would come to every municipal meetings for every one of the 25 municipalities. And I'm not going to sit home on the recliner my last year. I'm going to keep that promise. But what I'm really wanting to say is thank you for the cooperation that we have had with Whitehall Township. You know, right from the very beginning, I know Commissioner Warren did the grant. We got you the police car. It, you know, it really, it was fun being able to work with you. You know, we're getting that trail, the only missing piece from Washington, D.C. to New York City. And, of course, it's going to cost more than we originally planned. But instead of being open maybe in another year, it might be 28 by the time it comes. But it's coming. And it's thanks to the cooperation, I mean, that we need at the federal government, the state, Whitehall, Allentown County, and private. And we pulled it all together, and I'm real proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that We're going to help out with the new, or upgrade our fire training facilities. We're going to throw some money at that. And as you are well aware, the county is going to take out the loan to pay for the new radios. And I can't speak for the board yet, but I can leak out some information. We're looking at 2 ways of paying us back. If you pay us back within 5 years, I'm pretty sure we're not going to even charge a penny interest. So we're going to, try to make it, it's not our fault that we have to go to this system, but it makes sense that we're all on the same digital system. And these radios are going to be expensive, but it's a necessary thing, and we're going to do it. But mostly, I've come tonight to, if you have any questions of anything that you need to know about the county, and you certainly know I'm receptive if you ever have any questions to meeting with you or answering anything. But I think, even, when you come in here tonight and look at, it's a tough job what you people are doing. And I've sat there and I sit in the county. It means a lot that you're serving your constituents the way you're doing. And we at the county do appreciate the relationship we've had with your police department, with your fire department, your emergency responders, all of that. We've worked really well together. New bridge, things we've gotten. I'm real proud of some of the accomplishments, and we're going to continue working. I'm meeting with the fire chiefs the 24th of this month of something else if they're interested. I've got another thing I want to help them out with, so be up to them, but we're looking at different things to try to help them out. I know they're, like every fire department is having department problems, so. Any questions, Mr. Slonacre, or Chair, Sir President?
Is the county putting any, push that button off? It was a little long. The,
Old dog, new tricks,
is,
yeah.
is,
Okay.
is the county putting anything towards the shooting range that we got into talking about before for the police and for, because we do more than just Whitehall Township here, and I
Right.
didn't know if they were going to go ahead and commit some funds for that.
At this point, there has been no funds committed, but we're still looking at it. So I've spent the morning dealing with people asking for funds, and to be honest with you, we're, as you are, a very tight budget, of everything has caused increases. We've really got hit hard in the stomach. Human Services, the state, has not allocated what they used to in the past, and yet we still have to provide those services. So it's hurting us budget-wise too. And we're trying to look at other ways and trying to beg for more money. Getting good at that in public office.
And on both sides here,
Yeah.
it's the same thing, that you're
Yes.
trying to contain the costs as best you can, but it's sometimes people just think of what I wouldn't pay that much or whatever, or, how much do we have to help somebody out? So
Right. Yeah.
it's something we're very aware of, and some of the newer members on the board here, I think they got a training for the first time they had to go through a budget with what we had to do. And again, it's something that you might be sitting in the audience like they were, and it just seems like, well, this should be, until you find out there's rules and regulations that you must follow here, and it changes things around dramatically.
I remember your mayor's first meeting as commissioner explained in detail why we needed to do something, and one of his friends in the audience called him a snake oil salesman after he explained things absolutely correctly. But like you said, and I remember you learning that lesson, and we all learn that lesson. We do. You have to follow and do what is said.
Okay. So now I'll ask members on the board what they might have to quiz him on.
I'll just make one comment. I want to thank you and the board, or the commissioners, county commissioners, and the bipartisanship that you guys showed down there to get things done. And I would encourage that the county continue to look at ways to do the heavy lifting that the municipalities can't do on their own, whether it be regionalization, whether it, like this digital radio thing. There's some governments that think, well, they do their thing, we do our thing. I think the county government is always there to help to do the heavy lifts that the little municipalities cannot do on their own, so thank you.
We have that $100,000 grant. We've working toward a study of regional police, because that is, I'll never forget my first budget here. It was like, that much money for overtime? And, you know, it really is. And I look at boroughs like Emmaus and Whitehall, we're landlocked. You're not going to expand. So you are just set in. And we do try to do the best we can.
I don't really have a question for you, but I do just want to say thank you for being so active in not just Whitehall, but Lehigh County. I remember years and years ago sitting in the audience, and I remember you being up here, and, you know, I know it's never an easy job, but I appreciate all you've done.
Well,
So thank you.
I will, say it is the best job in the world. You can make things happen, and when you said bipartisan, I learned that here. We've never talked about what party. It was what needs to be done. And I carried that over. When I first took over, it was very much, and I just kept saying, why, and we've changed that now. So, of course, we have a lot of Whitehall people down there with me now, too. So, that's helped. Okay.
Any other comments?
Well, I'll give up my chair I see some people standing, yes.
I just want to thank Mr. Armstrong and tell a funny story real quick. About 20 years ago, I sat as a ninth grader in Mr. Armstrong's history class over at Whitehall High School. And he made a deal with the class and said if somebody would volunteer to be the first person at the door, if an intruder comes in, you can get $1. And I took the deal. I don't think I ever got that $1, so.
No, that's not the deal. You're not remembering it correctly. The deal, and I did this since the 70s, that if you would save the class, I would, number one, recommend you to the Hero Foundation, where your parents would be, I would plant a tree on campus in your name, and I would set up a scholarship. Not $1.
Yeah, it's been 20 years.
There was no dollar back, because I know I made that deal with a lot of students. So,
No,
and
all
thank
good.
you, you would have saved us. Yeah, definitely.
Just wanted to say thank you, Mr.
Oh, you're
Armstrong.
more than
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Yep.
Those are the fun parts and by the way, teaching is probably a great occupation to get ready for government. Because every day something new, a different crisis, and you have to deal with it. So I really think it. And by the way, good news, even though I am not going to be as a county executive in January, last month I am on the executive board of the County Executives of America, and they changed their bylaws that I will stay on the executive board. So I will still be representing us in the County Executives of America organization. So, and that's been a valuable source of things. In fact, that's one of the things I'm going to bring to the fire chiefs that I've picked up there. And it's great working with county executives from Seattle, St. Louis, Miami, Chicago, and Lehigh County. Yeah, it really is. It's eye-opening. And by the way, February 20th is my State of the County address. If you want to please show up, it's going to be at the Iron Pig Stadium, and you can register on the Chamber of Commerce website. Love to have you all, really would. It's my last one. I'm going to go out with a bang.
Are you getting that little co-file shoot up?
No, but there might be some Scottish pipers involved. Okay, it just might be, so.
Just gonna say thank you for all the years. I was always able to talk to you, just kind of guiding me and,
Thank you.
always answering my questions. Thank you
Always
very
there.
much. And I know you're always just a hop and a skip away, but thank you for all the
Around
years.
the corner, so. Well, thank you.
No, we're very glad you came tonight. That's why all these people showed up,
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm sure. I'm sure that was on the agenda. Well, good luck to all of you, okay? And again, I still have 11 months, so I'm not going to sit home on a recliner. Okay, thank you.
Next, we're going to have courtesy of the floor. Just repeating what I said earlier, that if people get up and expressing the same thing, I mean, I saw things on here about the trash, garbage, whatever. I mean, we know what it's about. We understand that some people are very upset, others aren't, whatever. It's just that the repetitious doesn't help us get any further, but you can get up and say, I agree with the prior person or what, but we don't want to hear the same thing over and over. You get 3 minutes, so who's first? There's.
Lorianne Fainall, 3107 North 3rd Street, Whitehall. On August 5th, 2019, I attended a workshop commissioner meeting when Darktown residents came to the meeting, each speaking how unsafe Water Street is. One by one, each person spoke, including Mr. Thomas himself. He said he normally didn't come to these types of meetings, but it was urgent and important matter to him that he be at that meeting because he was concerned there was going to be loss of life if something was not done with the dangerous speeding and the lack of police presence. I witnessed the petition being served to the commissioners and former Mayor Harricle for speed humps. The commissioners in particular who were there was Joe Marks, Ginder, Jeff Warren at that time. And Harricle acknowledged that there was going to be a process made for the traffic study. A promise was made, but was never kept. The cries for help from the Darktown residents were forgotten for many years, going back that I can personally see since 1993. When I learned of this tragic accident, because I was a witness to that meeting, I filed a right-to-know request, and I dated it from 8/1/2019 to 12/25/2024, and I got a response. Thank you, Jack Myers, for getting that for me. It was discovered that a proposal was made. However, it was not authorized. The cost of the study was going to cost $7,500. This traffic study could have prevented the loss of human life. I wish it was done. We learned that Peter Terry from Benchmark and former Mayor Harricle met on an unknown date and time using a handheld, uncalibrated radar gun. Again, no traffic study was authorized. And because the proposal was dated July 29, 2019, the Darktown residents spoke on August 5th, 2019, which was 8 days later from that proposal being drafted. I wish that we would spend more time putting the safety of our community first instead of political witch hunts and other things that are going on in this township. Please listen to these people. It shouldn't take a loss of life for us to be reactive. We need to do it now. There should be no further loss of life into an incident like this. And I am so sorry to everybody that's in Darktown that they failed you. But I guarantee I'm going to be at these meetings, every meeting, and asking them, are they going to do that traffic study that could have presented the loss of life to your friend and your family who you all deeply loved very much. God bless.
Thank you. Next person?
Next is, I'm sorry if I mess up some names here, Ron Reedman?
me.
Yep.
What I wanted to say before, and it's not part of this, is that executive.
Mr. Reedman,
Oh,
name and address,
Name
please.
and address, Ron. You've been here a couple times before.
I've been to one or two meetings, yes. My name is Ron Reeman. I live at 929 Fifth Street in Whitehall. But I did want to say something about, this can't be on this here. This is Just about our executive for the county. I remember him when he took the ski club to Mount Snow, and my kids just loved him. And although they came home half frozen, they still loved him. But it was an interesting thing. I have two items. I don't know do I get 3 minutes for each item?
You have 3 minutes.
Oh, boy, okay. The BP tax. Now, Tom, you would be on board with this. Why did we go to Berkheimer? Why didn't we get a CPA who was familiar with the mercantile tax laws and would work on a commission rather than, going to Berkheimer? That you guys can discuss on your own time. But I think you're on board with me on that, because we had an auditor, the first year he was on, he collected $1.8 million when Mr. Commissioner Sloniker was the treasurer of the township. Am I right about that? $1.8 million he collected. He got paid for that, but he was really good. And I don't know why we went to Berkheimer. There's other people out there that could do it. They know the BP laws or the mercantile laws, and they'd be better at it. The second thing was the bidding on the garbage okay? I mean, I understand that one of the bidders made an error, and his bid was refused, and they went with the I can't think of the name of the one. We had Waste Management, now we have, tell me. Mascaro, okay. Was that above board?
When they came back, when Waste Management gave the bid, they made an error. They did not want to go ahead and put in another bid. One of the things that's different about this contract, and like I said, it's a big increase. However, this is the first time I know that we went out in search of bids for something for this.
Well, I'm
This
here-
wasn't just waiting for people to come to us and say, hey, I want to bid on that. We went out and tried to get them to bid.
Well, I belong to the Whitehall Senior Group in West Caddy, and we have 40 or 50 people come there for lunch some days of the week, and they're going to be asking me these questions knowing that I came here. So I'm at a loss of words then, Are we okay, Attorney? Oh, well, is my time up?
The bid process was done absolutely in accordance with Pennsylvania law.
Okay, that's all I want to know then. Thank you. There's going to be a job opening, by the way, for mayor of LA, in case anyone's interested.
Thank you, Ron.
And I'm not applying, not even drunk.
Next up,
Next up is Scott.
I think that's me. Good evening, Scott Slingerland, 1935 West Broad Street. I'm with a group called CAT, Coalition for Appropriate Transportation. We're a Lehigh Valley nonprofit advocating and educating for bicycling, walking, ADA access, and public transit. Our programs range from bicycle safety in schools to pedestrian safety, and I'm here with three members of our pedestrian committee, Sherry Wilson, Edwin Kay, and Janice Kay. We are here to honor the memory of Edward Tomsix. We're here to support the family to prevent this tragedy in the future. And we want to support that, right? So we want to pose a decision to Whitehall Township, but really it's a decision for the whole community to work together. And as a nonprofit, we want to support that. So an option that we don't want to encourage is putting up guardrails on every street, allowing drivers, encouraging drivers to travel at high speeds so that no one can safely step outside their door, so that no one can cross the street, so that no one can walk through their town. Nobody wants this, right? Now kind of lead to what we actually want to do, the community we want to create. We want to educate drivers to travel at speeds that are prudent, to give the drivers time to detect, react, and slow down for pedestrians. And we feel that 25 miles an hour is fast enough in neighborhoods and downtowns. We want to enforce speed limits so that drivers know that you are serious about safety, and if human death is not reason enough to slow down, then fines are a deterrent as well. And we know that 25 miles an hour is the speed limit in residential areas. We want to engineer intersections with curb extensions to shorten crossing distance for pedestrians. We want high visibility crosswalks so that drivers know when they're coming to a crosswalk, and crosswalks that are illuminated for pedestrians without blinding drivers. This is a regional concern, and we know that it's a challenge everywhere. Allentown, Hellertown, Bethlehem, Easton, and South Whitehall are all currently working on some or all of these strategies for safe streets for all. A little bit of time left. We want to encourage drivers, above all else, the psychology of driving. We want drivers to do the right thing, relax, slow down, and look around and actively scan for pedestrians. We want drivers to not be in a hurry, to not drive distracted or under the influence of alcohol or drugs, and please, drivers, to put down their phones, right? If anybody can hear this, everybody, right? We want to encourage pedestrians, yes, also to use care, but pedestrians should not bear the brunt of drivers' errors. The burden of responsibility should be on drivers who speed and do not heed reasonable care behind the wheel of 3,000 pounds. It is the law for drivers to yield to pedestrians and crosswalks. I think that's all I need to say, other than we want Whitehall Township to be a place that people drive to and not drive through like a racetrack. We want Whitehall Township to be a great place to live, and we want to encourage you and we support you to lead the way for the region. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next.
Next is Joni Tedesco.
Joni Tedesco, 424 4th Street. About the December 9th meeting, President Sloniker, as well as Mr. Snyder, was very belligerent and obnoxious about the way they carried on regarding Mrs. Corrin and the way she handles the tax office. It was disgusting, disturbing, and borderline verbal abuse towards her. Tina's hands are tied when it comes to how she handles the tax office, since the employees are not only township employees, but also union employees. The union contract should be revised and let Mrs. Corrin run her office. As Mr. Sloniker stated, it's up to her to run her office. Mr. Snyder wants to introduce a referendum to get rid of the treasurer and bring in a financial manager. There was previously a referendum on the ballot, and it was voted no by the taxpayers. Mr. Snyder, do you have someone in mind that you're looking to hire to have that position? You don't have to answer me now. It's my time. Why bring it up again? This township is a joke. Joke in capital letters. I hope the taxpayers are paying attention to all the BS that's going on within this township. Time for a major change. Also, my last question is this. Is the mayor allowed to serve on the sewer authority since he's a full-time mayor? Anybody wants to answer? I'm done.
No. Please address the legality of the mayor serving on there for her edification. Oh, I'm sorry. New buttons.
The mayor is legally absolutely permitted to serve in that role.
Okay, it was just a question that I know some people were asking, and so I figured I'd bring it up.
Ms. Tedesco, I'd like to address this. I honorably served on the Sewer Authority for 15 years, It's my 15th anniversary. I'm currently the senior member of the authority. The board across the street, at the unfortunate death of our chairman, wanted to make me the chair of the board. I was, at the time, president of the Board of Commissioners. I didn't think that was appropriate, so I declined that promotion. In 15 years, I missed one meeting. In 15 years, we did over $25 million in capital improvements to our system. I was on the lead for a $400,000 successful litigation against the city of Allentown for wrongful billing practices. I was also participating in an investment program that the state allowed us to do, where we invested capital in a monthly investment that garners almost $25,000 a month interest. I was also at the lead to inspect 5,000 homes and businesses for clear water infiltration. I participated in our new website. I got online billing done across the street. And I participated, myself and Chairman Schreiner, who unfortunately is deceased, started an initiative 15 years ago where the authority has the ability to give in-kind money to nonprofit organizations, both in Copley and Whitehall every year, sports programs, the libraries, food banks, the Lions clubs, on and on. This year, we are sponsoring 2 $500 scholarships for Whitehall seniors to participate in trade schools. We thought it was necessary because the trades are struggling to get people to do work. A lot of these children today don't like to do blue-collar work. They go to college to move into white-collar positions. I thought that it was a great initiative and idea to support those children moving forward for their futures. I take what I do very seriously. I'm very proud of my record across the street. It's one of the most well-run authorities in the state of Pennsylvania, and if not the country. We were told that by authorities. I also want to point out that last year we did a quarterly sewer bill summary for residential customers based on 15,000 gallons per quarter. And it's a comparison that was done by a consultant. The highest in the state has a quarterly bill of $499.15. If you go down to 124 authorities, Copley Whitehall Sewer Authority falls in at the second lowest place. Our average quarterly bill is $55 a quarter. I'm very proud of that accomplishment. We have some of the lowest sewer rates in the state of Pennsylvania, and I worked very hard for that. And I would be honored to continue to serve across the street because of my record and my performance. And according to the letter of the law, I can do so.
Well, thank you for your response. I mean, like I said, I was just asking because it was brought to attention, through conversation. Does Mr. I'm sorry? I know, I just want to know if anybody else had response to what my questions were.
No, because in my opinion, this is my opinion, you're getting into trying to draw some reaction to what you said, and again, I know.
Well, we have the right to know.
Right to know what, I'm sorry.
The answers to my questions.
Again, we can discuss that after the meeting. if
No,
you
we're
want.
not going to discuss it after the meeting. We can discuss it now.
Mrs. Tedesco, you're done with your time.
Yeah, and 3 minutes is BS, too.
Next person. We're not going to get into the situation that they had in one of the other townships where they're going up to near midnight, because I was in those meetings here when there were that kind of things for years. We've gone away with that. We're trying to do this orderly so that some of the people here who have to get to work, get back to their children or whatnot, so they can do that. We're not going to get, like I said before, if we have the same thing mentioned over and over again, it doesn't help any of us out. So, who do we have next?
Next is Barb Thompson.
My name's Barbara Thompson. I live at 3243 Water Street. I am the wife of Edward Thompson, the man that was killed because of a man speeding on our street, and he was killed on Christmas Day. I lost my husband, my 2 daughters lost their father, and 5 young girls lost their grandfather. Now my grandchildren are out there every night with signs on to slow down speeding. They have fluorescent vests on, they have candles lit, and they have a microphone. Do those girls have to do your jobs instead of someone putting speed bumps on our street? It's time to put speed bumps in. Do those young girls, my grandchildren, have to do that job? Make speeders slow down? Is that right for those young girls to do that? Because their grandfather lost his life. And my oldest granddaughter was the first one to see him lying on the street. How would you feel if you were in her shoes? How would you feel if you were in our shoes? That man came here to many meetings asking you to do something about it. He was 75 years old. He was young. I thought I'd have my husband for many more years. He walked slowly across the street because he couldn't walk fast, because he had a stroke on one side and bad knees. He always watched if cars were coming, but he couldn't walk fast enough because of speeders. That is a shame, because for years, like Aunt Marie said, they've been trying to get help, and you all sit there and do nothing. Nothing to help us. There's no line down the middle of the street to tell what's right or left, so they speed down the middle of the street. Now I ask you right now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
What are you gonna do?
Can I have an answer?
What are you gonna do? What's the answer? The man in the middle should answer. Come on, let's answer.
Give these people the traffic study they deserve.
Yeah.
You promised it in 2019, it was gonna be done. And you didn't do it.
Please, please.
Mrs. Thompson.
Let's have order here. I understand. Listen, do you think that we don't have any kind of empathy for this person here? Well, you're right. Just you keep your mouth closed right
You
now.
all were here. I sat in the audience when they came here. I sat here when it was presented to you. You were here. Joe was here. Jeff was here.
Either you be quiet, or
Wait,
we're
let
gonna
me
go
ask.
ahead
because
and
I
we'll
sat
stop
with
the
gun in
meeting
the
until you
community.
do.
You
Lori
were
Ann,
here.
this isn't
And
the
that
first.
life was lost because of
All
your
right.
negligence.
We're,
Mrs. Thompson.
have you stopped? Because we'll take a recess for 15 minutes and. Well, again, don't just some guy in the back laughing at this, another guy just shouting out. We don't get anywhere like this. We do feel empathy for you. There's nobody on the board that doesn't. You take Mr. Snyder. He had something similar in his family where it was a different kind of traffic accident. We care about you people. Now, because something hadn't been done, and that was, again, you'll hear it from the mayor when this was brought up. It was brought up with the last mayor. And I'm not blaming things on the last mayor either. There's different things that have to get done with this township at different times. It's more than tragic. And I can't, there's no way that I can give words to you to make you feel even a little bit better. I know that. But Doesn't help when we have people in the back there laughing. And that doesn't help anybody out. So, again, Mr. Mayor.
Mrs.,
Why hasn't it been from
Again,
Please.
if there's outbreaks, we're gonna have,
Please.
if there's outbreaks, we're gonna take a recess and we'll come out every 10 minutes to see how long you people stay here. We're not gonna go through with this.
Mrs. Thompson, if I could, first of all, I just want to extend my sympathy to you and your family for the tragic loss. I'm a fellow Marine. I know he served with the 5th Marines, the Seahorses. They were an iconic Marine fighting unit, and it breaks my heart. And I just want to say this. I didn't want to go here, but I want to keep politics out of this. But this tragic death should not be used politically. His family and the neighbors in Darktown need time to heal. Emotions are raw. No one wanted to see this tragic event happen. If I could turn back the clock, I would. But I can't. I am taken aback that some people are using this for other reasons. I assure you that I will do everything that I possibly can, and I have a proposal tonight. I don't know if I can do it. I won't make a promise I can't keep. I've been in correspondence with Mr. Broski, with Tony Jezik. I told him my intentions early in the year when I first became mayor. Speed control signs were one of my ideas and concepts. The money was appropriated in this year's budget, and the signs are being ordered. I know that this isn't going to solve the problem completely. One of the proposals that I have, had an extensive conversation with our consulting engineer, our solicitor, our police chief, our fire chief. It's complicated. There were traffic studies done over the years. They tried different methods to calm the traffic, being at lines, speed controls, enforcement. Nothing is working. The composition of Darktown is complicated. The cartway is only 17 feet wide. They can't even put a center line down there because by Pennsylvania standards, the roadway, each side has to be so wide for vehicular traffic. Hear me out. What I'm trying to propose to do, I don't know if I have the power or the ability to do so, but if I do, I will. I'm proposing that we turn Water Street into a cul-de-sac. What I intend on doing, if it's agreeable with the neighbors down there, is to, at Eberhart and Lehigh, put Jersey barriers up to stop through traffic, to put them up at Eberhart and Lehigh, and on the other side of the bridge abutments where the flood-prone area is, so no one gets into that area during flood occurrences. The only access to the neighborhood will then be from the bridge side. That will certainly calm traffic because people have nowhere to go at that point. The turnaround point for snow pushout will be down where the Jersey barriers are installed at the very end of Water Street. And simply for the neighbors and for school buses, emergency vehicles, they'll have the ability to turn around in the unauthorized Norfolk Southern lot that abuts the rail trail. So there is a way to turn around and get back out of Water Street to go back out to the bridge side. I don't know if I can do this, but this is the only thing that I can see, according to our engineers and our experts, that will pacify and get the situation under control. So that's my proposal. I will take all necessary action to do so if I can. And we can't move the homes. We can't build sidewalks. We can't install guardrails. Speed bumps do not work. According to Pennsylvania regulations, what I'm told by our engineers, speed bumps will not work. People will, it can lead to bigger problems. So it's not going to solve the problem wholly. I believe by making it a cul-de-sac, if there's not through traffic, then, hopefully it'll offset another tragic event from happening. And that's the best I can do. So I'd like to sit down with the neighborhood, talk to everyone, see where they're at, if they're all agreeable, and let democracy rule in this case. I'm sure that everyone will be agreeable to this, and I'll do my very best to get it done. I'm so sorry for your loss. It breaks my heart. I can't I can't imagine what you, your family, and your neighbors are going through. I know, he was the mayor of Darktown, and I respect that. And he should be remembered in that way. And I'm so sorry that this happened, and like I said, Chief Marks, his people did a speed data analysis. We will make this available to the public. I would like to have Chief Marks come up then and also speak on this and tell you, as a law enforcement official, what his feelings are on this. We sat down in my office for, I don't know, an hour and a half last week and came to this agreement and decision. Now, the fire department's not going to like this. I spoke to Chief Builder extensively about this. When Engine 38 runs, they use that as a go-through to get to the southern part of the township. Now, what they're going to have to do is go down to 7th Street, then they're going to have to go down Eberhart to Lehigh to get around. But we have West Caddy, and hopefully they can set up the call boxes so the fire department can get to fire scenes and emergencies in a similar fashion. So it complicates, you know, that aspect, and the police are also going to have to go around. But I'm sure working with them, and once it's known, they can work out the details and the bugs. Once again, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to the people of Darktown. It's complicated. You're a very unique little village in your own right. It's called Darktown because you were the last to get electric service. It just is what it is. It was almost a colonial cartway that evolved into a regular, you know, street in the 21st century. But it's just not built for that. And we can't control the narrative. We can't control people's actions and how they drive. Now, I can't report on the outcome of the investigation because the county will do so, and it takes time for them to compile their results. But I can tell you that it's my belief that the gentleman did everything by the book, and it was just a very unfortunate situation.
I'm sorry, which gentleman?
The driver of the vehicle.
Excuse me? You want to try to say that again?
No, ma'am, all I'm saying is, I don't know the outcome of the investigation. We have to wait to see what that may be.
Did you say the driver did everything by the book?
No. What I'm getting at is, he didn't flee the area or anything like that. He did.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm getting at. I'm not
Okay.
saying that, you know, he did or didn't do anything wrong. I don't know that. What I'm saying is, I don't believe that that was the case. This was just a tragic accident. But once again, once they compile their investigation and they put out the results, we won't know till then.
Okay, I do have part of the police report. He was speeding. Please do not say he wasn't speeding.
Well, I'm not saying that. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know those numbers like you don't know those numbers. We're waiting for that final investigation to come out. But what I'm getting at is, we can't be premature in,
You're getting me angry.
well, I'm sorry, I don't mean to get you angry.
He was speeding.
Ma'am, I can't make that judgment, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We can't make that judgment at this time, it's too premature. The point being is, I want to resolve this issue.
Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Next.
Next up is Tony Jezik.
Yes. My name's Anthony Jezik.
Get to the microphone, sir.
I live at 3273 Water Street. My name's Anthony Jezik. I've been there 25 years. I really just had one thing to say. I don't know who was here last time that I came here to bitch, but the last thing I said was, I told you so. I'm gonna tell you it's gonna happen. Now I'm here to say I told you so. It is very unique down there, but really, nothing has been done. I talk to the chief every once in a while when it really gets crazy and he puts somebody down there for a day or two or three, but nothing gets done. And right when I step off my porch, it is a danger zone. Sometimes I look down, I look up, I go to cross, I look again for the third time, and there's already a car there. I mean, sometimes they're doing 50, 60 miles an hour. It is insanity. The kids that have to walk to school, walk on that street. They're a little afraid to go in the morning on the rail trail, so they gotta walk that street. It is insanity down there sometimes. We just had an 18-wheeler come through today. Every other week, we have one. Every day, there's overweight vehicles, every single day, and they go fast. Speed humps, which we proposed last time, my boss at the time is one of the biggest construction business owners. He owns Hinkle and McCoy, he owns them all, John Haynes. He was gonna put them in for free if it was approved. The only thing he did was put them double yellows down at that one time, and it created more of a problem. You have to do something now, because we did tell you this is gonna happen. I mean, we did tell you. Your proposal is the best thing that I've heard. I thought of a one-way, speed humps, and I'm also concerned about the ambulances. I very rarely see a fire truck going on a call going south. That happens very rarely. They do go down all the time, fast, going to the training grounds, very fast. It's incredible how fast they go just going to the training grounds. I already told the people about that. The ambulances you gotta take into consideration, because daily they're coming up going north. So that's a consideration that you have to think about. I didn't want to say that, but it is a consideration. Something has to be done because it's totally unsafe. I looked at it today from a point of view that I never did before, like I was the first time there. And it worried me, thinking kids gotta walk on this street, bicycles, pedestrians. Man, something's gotta be done. You can't look at this and just let it go again. Something has to be done. And I don't know who was here last time, but man, I told you so. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is a very good proposal. Everyone will go with that.
Next.
Next is Kaylee Paccio, Water Street.
What's her name?
Kaylee,
I'm not going up. Excuse me, I don't want to go up.
okay.
She yields her time to the next person.
That's Ed's granddaughter.
Again, it doesn't transfer extra time. It's 3 minutes per person. This is the way we've had it.
No harm in trying.
Next up is Marcia Paccio, also Water Street.
Oh, yeah, I just want to speak about my dad, you know.
Please come up.
You have to give your name and address.
Okay. Marcia Pacioli, 3243 Water Street. We just need something done down there. It's really bad. My kids have to walk up to school, like they said. They won't even put a bus stop down there. My kids walk all the way up to 2nd and Butt Street, which is very far for them. And because of that, I have to drive them to school every day because it's not safe. It's just not safe for them to do that. And, you know, it shouldn't take a tragedy for things to have to happen, but that's where we're at. So that's all I want to say.
Thank you.
How did they get up there? They walked the gun handle?
Well, no,
I don't wanna believe in this, but.
like, I wouldn't let them because that's not safe. It's just not safe there at all.
That's a concern.
But they walk the trail. But if the trail's not clear in the winter or the trail's not kept up, then they don't have a trail to walk on. And technically they're walking through someone's yard because that's how they get up there, which shouldn't be happening either, you know what I mean? Like, there can be other problems with that.
Well, what, if I could say one thing I forgot about? Last
Sir,
year, I was
sir,
shot at
sir,
because
sir,
I got in an
again,
argument with somebody
You
speeding.
you had your 3 minutes there.
Shot at me.
There's a
You
lot
heard
of
what I had to
people
say,
on
that's
here
all I
that
have
we
to
have to hear from, okay?
Shot at me. Police report.
Next up is Ms. Dawn Saganowicz.
Dawn Saganowicz, 3123 Soda Lane. I was not at the meeting last month, and I take offense to what you say, Mr. Sloniker, that if someone else said something, we don't have the right to say it again. That's BS, like Mrs. Tedesco says. I hear you. I'm a
Again,
taxpayer. I have
again,
3
what
properties
we're
in this
doing here
township.
is
I don't
making
want you to
this-
talk, it's my time. So I'm telling you that we should be able to speak no matter how many times you have to hear it. I know you don't want to hear it, this is hard stuff. But last week's workshop was 35 minutes. So don't act like you're here at midnight every night of a meeting, because that's not true. So I watched that despicable meeting from last month on YouTube, because it wasn't on the website when I wanted to see it. I was sick. I couldn't be here. It was appalling, the behavior of Mr. Snyder, Mr. Peligian, you got in there putting your hands up that it's her office, and you, Mr. Sloniker. And you were bragging how you were the treasurer years ago in that office. Well, you know what? She's a woman that has a tax office whose hands are tied by you commissioners, this administration, and the union, who does nothing for her. She's got 2 employees that don't want to come to work. So you know what? They're sitting at home collecting 60% of their salary that we're paying for them not to come and do their job. Get rid of them. We've got 3 garbage payments coming up. And how many times is Mrs. Corrin going to close that tax office because 2 don't want to come to work, and maybe one's on a scheduled vacation and another one gets sick? So you people, I listen to these stuff over and over. If I'm not present, I watch them on YouTube and on the township website. When are you going to solve problems? When are you going to help these people in Darktown that was brought to you by the man who was killed by a fast speeding driver? And I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, you can ask Jay Gilbert and the St. Elizabeth School and Church if they think their speed humps work. Because I've been on that road, and it does slow you the heck down. Don't put up a sign telling us how fast we're going. I go the speed limit. I don't go over the speed limit. But I'm just telling you, you guys, and people in this township voted no to get rid of Mrs. Corrin. We elected her. We want her there. Now you're going to bring in someone making 6 digits to figure out, well, I'll tell you what, if you stay out of lawsuits, you had one with the previous mayor and his sexual nonsense, then you have a lawsuit currently with Mr. Roman, and now with Mrs. Corrin, and I hope you get a lawsuit from Water Street, because this is outrageous, what's going on in this township. That's all I have to say. I'm done. I hear it. I have good ears.
Next.
Is Susan Barthol's next? I pass. Thank you. Is Ashley Corrin?
Ashley Corrin, 418 McKeever Lane, Northampton, PA, 18067. Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Corrin. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. Either way, my name is irrelevant to what I'm about to say. For 25 years of my life, I was able to call Whitehall Township my home. It's the place where I got my first job, graduated high school, played manhunt until it got dark, along with participating in varying sports. Simply, I found happiness in the community of people I surrounded myself with. My parents set rules, made guidelines, we had discussions during family dinners. Discussions that reminded us how to be respectful, have morals, have a work ethic greater than anyone else in the room. But most importantly, reminded us how to stay humble and respectful during any challenges we may encounter as someone may be fighting a battle we know nothing about. My parents have guided my brother and me into the people we are today, and I will always be eternally grateful. Now, where am I going with this? By no means is this a lecture, but simply a message hoping for change. After the December public meeting, I was met with people not only texting me, but messaging me on Facebook about the utter belligerence that occurred at the last meeting directed towards my mother. Now let me get something straight. I am not someone who will sit behind a keyboard anonymously, as I have been accused, posting about someone on Facebook, nor am I someone to ever speak at a meeting. However, it has come to the point where my mother's health is not only affected, but the situation you have put my family through has taken a toll on all of us for 3 years. I ask you, please delve deep and find morals inside of you. and the integrity to know and understand that emotionally abusing someone during a meeting not only shows your true character, but is an absolute disgrace to Whitehall Township. Remember, as a public figure, people are always watching and listening. One eye roll, pointing a finger, raised tone, or unprofessional demeanor reflects you and is not what defines a leader. The definition of a leader is someone who shares their knowledge and experience to inspire others to dream more, learn more, and do more. A person who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Someone who rises by lifting others. You have one of the best leaders in this township, your tax collector, who works 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily, has gone to work instead of family gatherings, and has shown absolute resilience to help turn the township back into the greatness it used to be. The same person you are trying to get rid of due to some vendetta. Rather than belittling her, put your ego aside and for once, show your appreciation, as that office would not be the same without her. Mom, though I know you never hear it, thank you for all you have done and the mark you have left on not only our family, but the lasting impression you have left on your office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Diana Fleming.
Hi, good evening. My name's Diana Fleming, 3277 Water Street in Whitehall. I'm sure you've heard from others the unfortunate events that happened on Water Street. I sympathize actually with having a school-age child that has to walk nearly 3/4 of a mile, where most of it has no sidewalk, from the 2nd and Butts Street down to the other end of Water Street where I live. Most of that has no sidewalk for him to safely walk. He's been sped around, beeped at, yelled at. You know, this is a disservice to the neighbors on Water Street. I'm going to continue. I don't regularly come here, and I'm going to continue to come here to see through a resolution to this. You know, speed humps was my thought, but I do like what you're proposing, and hopefully, you know, you will see that through. I don't want to say too much more because most others have already said it. My condolences to the family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Renata Broski.
Renata Broski, 3224 Water Street. Our situation first came to the media's attention in 1992 with a Morning Call article with the title, "Dark Town Lives in Fear of Speeding Motorists." And this occurred when residents put up a large sign on the side of a building that said, "We have quite a few children, but none to spare. Please drive slowly. Signs don't work." That's a fact. And the article stated, the signs is their last desperate attempt to slow traffic after trying everything they could think of. They went to the township earlier this year and proposed everything from speed bumps to stop signs to closing the road to outside traffic. The township executive, Elizabeth Bookmiller, said, "Those things were all researched, and according to the law, we couldn't do them." I'm skeptical of that statement. I did look into the Institute of Traffic Engineers about traffic calming devices. These are the combination of mainly physical measures that reduce the negative effects of motor vehicle use, alter driver behavior, and improve conditions for non-motorized street users. This definition aligns with the Federal Highway Administration, which says the primary purpose of traffic calming is to support the livability and vitality of residential and commercial areas through improvements in non-motorist safety, mobility, and comfort. These objectives are typically achieved by reducing vehicle speeds or volumes. They are self-enforcing physical means because signs don't work and enforcement is absent. Considerations for calming devices would be the negative impact on emergency vehicles. Are they inconvenienced? Is there no other way that they can go? On school or public transportation, we've heard there is no school transportation. The school district will not allow buses to go down there. It is deemed too dangerous. Will patients in ambulances be jarred? As Mr. Tomsix was perhaps jarred. Snow removal, well, that's been addressed. Yes, there are speed bumps by Gilbert's, by St. Elizabeth's. Why are they not possible in Water Street? What is the problem? What makes them illegal there? Drainage, what's the drainage situation? Of course, we love hearing about the cul-de-sac, but it's pie in the sky. And you have our full support, whatever we need to do to make it happen. We love the idea. As far as the calming devices, we'd like to hear what the reasons are that they are too complicated.
Thank you very much. Your time is up.
Thank you.
Next up is Rick Riggle.
Yeah, hi, Rick Riegel, 3237 Water Street. I moved in 1989. Ed Tomsick was the first one to greet me. Best friend, best neighbor. Now he's gone. Thank you. Thank you. We came here in these meetings. He said, the street's a nice street, but it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Do something, please. I like your proposal. Speed humps are all over the place. Humps, not bumps.
Next up is Nilsa Martinez.
Nilsa Martinez, 3285 Water Street. I agree. I agree with everything that everyone has said here. And what I would like to add is, you are our public servants. It is in your hands to do something for our safety and our families. Thank you.
Next up is Guillermo Fernandez.
Good evening. Guillermo Fernandez, 2631 Halleck Drive, here in Whitehall. Also, husband of Nilsa Martinez on 3285 Water Street. We are here in support of the neighborhood in Water Street, and we also give our condolences to the family that suffered the loss of the person in Water Street. Also, we have a concern about MacArthur Town Center noise. Our ordinance in Whitehall don't allow trucks to idle in the malls and stuff like that, and the trash collection is at our times. So if, please, somebody can look into this. The Aldi store does receiving at 2 o'clock in the morning. I have called numerous times. The cops, they show up, they stop, and they go again and do it again. So if somebody can look into this happens every week. Lowe's stores, the Lowe's department store, they dump their trash at 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. We work. We have a life. We pay taxes too. So it would be fortunate if somebody here look into this and decide to put a stop to this. And again, we are here in full support of the family, of the Water Street family. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim Foose.
Jim Foose, 3244 Water Street. I just want to come up here and say that I agree with everything that everyone said. It's put a big hole in a community like not having Ed there. He's the first one everybody's ever met on that street. And it's freaking ironic that he's the one that died. Please, I just hope you all do the best you can. Thank you very much.
That's it.
Is there anybody else that has anything new to offer that didn't sign up? We do this at every meeting.
I have one more thing to say.
And up to the microphone, name and address again. It's being recorded, that's why we need that information.
Anthony Jezik, 3273 Water Street. I think your facial expressions and attitude is substandard. I think you need to work on it.
Hey, and
That
you have
we-
people in the audience that agree with you. I'm trying to interpret what I get from people coming up and expressing whatever they're doing. I know different things are, people hear this or hear that. I try to go ahead and see what I can get out of what they say. And again, that's what I do.
Sir, I was the sergeant at arms of the Pagans Motorcycle Club, and we gave each other more respect than you give us.
And again, I give the respect that.
No, sir. It's substandard. You need to work on it, sir.
When I have a room with people that are
No,
talking
sir.
during the meeting, when I tell them not to, I'm sorry, I have to go ahead and look. And
It's
again,
the way you say
I've
it, like my
been
mother
attacked a
used to
couple
say
of
to me.
times
It's the
because
way
I
you
have
say
to
it. You need to work on that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Sloniker, I'd like to add one statement.
Again.
I'll say my name again, I'll
you
say
know
my
the
address.
Name and address.
Dawn's-
Again, it's being recorded and that's the way.
Yep,
we-
I know, I watch them. Dawn Saganowich, 3123 Soda Lane. My husband was at the viewing of Mr. Tomsix. My husband is going to be 73 this month, Mr. Tomsix 75. My husband knew him for years. He was at that viewing. I don't know if any of you showed up to pay your respects to a person of this importance in this township. Also, my husband heard his wife, Barbara, speak to the woman that was standing in front of Fritz, and she told this woman that her husband was thrown 60 feet when he was hit. So don't tell me that this guy wasn't speeding, and we still don't have the facts. Hold on, I'm talking, I got 2 minutes. We still don't have the facts if this man was drunk. Did he have a DUI test? And where is the police report to be made public? Are there not police reports presented at each of these commissioner meetings? Why not? How come we don't know what's going on? I see it on all these Facebook sites. Jordan Park, is that part of Whitehall? Is that Allentown? Where the trucks are. There's big truckers parked there for,
That issue was addressed today. That is not in our jurisdiction. That is Allentown.
well, I didn't know that, because Jordan Park is part of Whitehall
I'm just letting you know.
also.
As far as the police investigation, the county reconstruction team is doing the investigation. It is out of the Whitehall Police's jurisdiction. It's a conglomerate of different outside
That
agencies.
should stop. That time should stop when he's talking and not me.
Ma'am, you've already.
I know.
First 2 minutes. And again, we're extending you more than what we normally would.
Well, thank you. And I'll make sure I pay my taxes, too.
Good job, yeah. Any of what you brought up. This is more serious than you paying taxes. I mean, somebody's life was on the
People
line.
have the right to speak, Mr.
You
Sloniker.
can go ahead and dress it any way you want. But the very first time that I try to respond to something, oh, I had my time, and I understand.
It is.
And we've gone ahead and done that. But you've gotten 3 minutes before, and now you're getting another 3 minutes.
I don't need 3 minutes. I needed about a minute and a half if the mayor wouldn't have jumped in. But I want to know who's following up with all these problems that are presented at these meetings monthly. We can't speak at a workshop because you tell us it's the commissioner's workshop. Well, that would be the time for public comment, because I asked another commissioner who was booted off this board if there was public comment at workshops, and he said, yes, there were. So why are they not allowed now? That's when you hash stuff out, and we should have the right to speak about it.
It's at the discretion of the board president. I'm not the board president, I'm the mayor. I don't have any say in the way these meetings are held. It's not the way the system works.
president of the commissioners answer.
Ma'am, could you please not refrain from talking out of line? Again,
I just want to know who's going to follow up on all these damn problems in this township. When are they going to get addressed? Are other administrative offices in this township, do they have workers that don't want to show up? They're union, aren't they? Why are they picking on Tina Corin? What about development? I go there to get permits when I need a CO from my new tenant coming in. Doesn't seem like they're ever closed with the sign on the development. Not able to work today. Staffing issues. Yep, time's up. You know what, Mr. Sloniker, you need to retire.
That's right.
I've sat here and listened to everything that's being said. I sympathize with the Tomasic family greatly. I've experienced the same thing that this family has in my own family. And I know there is a process, and the process takes time. There are several victims. The victim, of course, is the person who passed away. There's other victims through this process. The first responders, the guy that had the accident, whether he's guilty or he's not guilty. Everything that's being said on the whiners, the stuff that's being said here tonight, there's a time and place. Some of the stuff you say is from your heart because you were hurt. I understand that. My granddaughter was the driver of the accident in front of the Wawa where her best friend was killed. I wanted answers as fast as I could. My family wanted the same thing. The reality is, you don't get them. There's possibility of criminal cases. There's all kinds of things that go on, stuff that's out of our control. I wasn't going to say anything tonight. I really wasn't. But I'm going to tell you, my family was a victim the same as your family is. And it's tough. It's hard. I've been called a lot of names on whiners and stuff like that, and I suck it up because that's what I got voted for. But tonight, as much as you're sorry, this whole board is sorry. The chief of police sits in the back. He has responsibilities. He's sorry. The first responder that showed up is sorry. The guy that was involved in the accident, he's reliving it every day, every night, wonders if he could have, should have, or would have. So it's nice to come here and shoot off about all this stuff, but just keep in mind, there's a lot of other people that are affected, whether you like it or not. I wasn't going to say nothing, but I got to tell you, I'm sitting here listening and listening and listening, and you all say we don't have experiences. I lived it, and I understand. And when I went to the chief of police or the police officers and asked what happened, they explained the policies and the way it went. I didn't like it. I didn't like the answers. It took 3 years before it got resolved. 3 years of the system before it got resolved. So I understand perfectly well. But sometimes our hands are tied, and it's easy to shoot. I understand, okay? All I'm trying to say is that sometimes compassion has to be for all parties involved. And that's all I'm saying, because it has to work its own system through. You don't have to like it. I didn't like it when it happened to me, but it's the system. That's all I'm asking you to do. Give it time, and you'll get the right answers. And when you get the right answers, then you start to deal with those answers. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go on with the rest of the meeting now. I don't know if, you weren't on the list.
What do you mean I'm not on the list? You can't see my name?
I'm sorry, again, it's the second.
What kind of crap is this?
Don't get the attitude, he didn't see
Mr.
your
Kopech,
name.
I will admit, I missed your name. It was just a simple error. I apologize. Please come on up.
It's always there when it comes to me somehow.
Please,
Mis-
please come up
Mr. Kopech, please
and
come up.
address.
I mean, I wrote it in plain English. I don't know.
Address, Mr. Kopech.
Anthony Kopech, 3763 Dogwood Drive. Now, last meeting, I brought up a guardrail that was up at Pine and Main. That's the township's guardrail? They're responsible for that? Okay, well, let me finish. I said it was smashed to where it is blocking the sidewalk, that people cannot use the sidewalk. So what have we done in the last month? Did we even go up there and cut away the part that was blocking the sidewalk for people to use? Maybe the lady that pushes the cart, or if there's handicap access? No. The township, we have not done anything in a month.
Mr.
Never
Kopech.
do anything, never.
That's a public safety concern I brought up, and you just, the only thing you like to do is put signs up in the name of safety. You haven't done anything
Mr.
with that
Kopech,
guardrail.
That's unnecessary, and yes, we have done something about the
No,
guardrail.
it's still smashed blocking the sidewalk.
I have 10 witnesses in this room that can attest that we addressed the situation the next day at our staff meeting. I talked to our public works
I just
director.
drove by there tonight.
I understand that. Things take time, but the issue is being addressed. It's not being neglected. It was brought up less than 12 hours later at our staff meeting. The public works director, I asked if it was ours, if it was one of our possessions. He acknowledged that it was. That guardrail is hit continuously. It's like whack-a-mole. And it was being addressed, and it is being addressed. So nobody neglected to do their job. There's many things that come with it. You know, excuse me, sorry, he squeezed by me.
You gotta lose weight, Ken.
I'm working on it. The situation is being addressed. I
So
assure
you're
you.
saying I could go up there and walk right down that sidewalk without stepping over the smashed piece of guardrail?
I'm not saying that, Mr. Kopech.
Exactly, well, that's the problem. Get the torch out, get your chop saw, and chop away the piece of guardrails that's blocking the sidewalk
Mr.
so
Kopech,
people can walk on the sidewalk.
If I could, I would personally do it, but
It doesn't take an act of Congress to go up, for the Public Works to go up there and make the sidewalk accessible.
I'm deferring to their professionalism. The Public Works Director and his associate is aware of this, and they are addressing the problem. I assure
But in the
you.
meantime, people have to walk in the street if they can't step over the guardrail that's blocking the sidewalk that's smashed. Correct?
I assume you're correct, yes.
There you go. So if you're concerned about public safety, why are you allowing that to happen?
Well, there's many things in this township, and I'm not making light of the situation, but in a perfect world, we would address everything instantaneously and get it fixed. But the situation is being addressed. It wasn't neglected. It was brought up less than 12 hours later, and it's being addressed. That's all I can tell you, Mr.
When the
Kopech.
car rolled over on 145 out here and smashed that barrier, that protects you from hitting the Jersey barrier head on, the state was out there in 2 days, had it all
The
fixed.
state has more resources than Whitehall Township.
You-
They have
you-
emergency contractors that address situations on state highways.
Exactly, because it's a
State-
safety concern. This is a safety concern. Take your chop saw, take your torch, open up the sidewalk for people to walk on. You want people walking on the street up on that curve?
Mr. Kopech, once again, I don't know the nuances to removing the guardrail.
I'm not saying remove the whole guardrail, I'm saying get rid of the smashed part that's blocking the curb.
I understand
the
that.
sidewalk.
But I'm deferring to the professionals, and they are addressing the situation, I assure you.
They haven't addressed anything in 1 month.
I will follow up first thing in the morning again and find out where we're at with it and have it addressed once again.
Well, if somebody gets hit up there, that, it doesn't matter. It's already been a month. You're just asking for the same, you're asking for the same thing to happen again. Yeah, next time it's gonna be different. No, it should have been different last time.
Okay, Mr. Kopech, your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you. And by the way, Copley residents get 10% off for early pay on their trash.
We're going to take a 5-minute recess. You can stay if you want. We're going to go over the remainder of what the meeting is on thing. This is entirely up to, we have people that are normally here for a long time. We have people that leave early after their issues are done. Please act accordingly. Okay, thank you.
They